Hello, how are you doing? It's Gabrielle here. Hope you're enjoying this 10-day menopause motivation boost camp challenge. So today I want to talk about snacking because I have spent quite a bit of time and sent you information about the meal plan and talked about the principle of eating these 3 meals a day. But one of the questions people always have is, what about snacking? People always want to know about this, and getting that right is the difference between being able to stick to an eating plan and losing weight, if that's your goal, and losing weight sustainably, because really this is about changing habits for life. And what happens often is we go into what's called black and white thinking. We think we either have to give up all our snacks and all our favourite foods and be really good on a healthy diet, or we go the other way and we just think, oh, I can't do this, and then we end up just taking the reins off and eating what we want and just maybe always feeling guilty about it as well. People really struggle with understanding that there is an in-between to that. And when you find that, that's really powerful, because that's when you realise that you can eat healthy food, but also enjoy food as well, enjoy living your life, and just let go of this constant seesaw in between being really good and being really bad. So how I approach this with my clients is thinking about why you eat. Outside of your main meals, why do you eat? And there are 3 buckets. One is we are genuinely hungry in between meals, so we grab something. Then we can suffer with cravings, emotional eating, using food as a coping strategy, or something that you do when you're bored, or just a habit that you always pick up a biscuit when you have a coffee. And the third one is eating because you want to, because we want to eat cake. I don't ever want to give up chocolate. Nothing will ever make that happen. And what people don't realise is they can incorporate these nice foods that they really love into their diets if, and these are the big things we have to get our head around, we eat properly at meal times, so we're not grazing all day to keep our energy up. That's the basis of the meal plan to make that happen. Also, we have to learn different strategies for managing emotional eating, so we're not doing that. And if you take both of those things out, you can literally save hundreds of calories a day. And I'm not overestimating that. I am a big emotional eater. I also know that if I don't eat good meals, I get hungry and I get cravings. Okay. And one day I realized, and you don't notice that you're doing it. You just grab a few nuts or a piece of cheese or a cracker, and you're just constantly sort of grazing all day thinking, oh, well, that's not much, but it really adds up. And one day when I really was honest with myself and realized that I was doing this and stopped denying it, I did an estimation as best as I could about how many calories I had eaten in addition to my meals that were just those little snacks. And it came up to around 700 calories, and I was mortified, because if I ate a 700 calorie meal at that point, I would have thought that was really pigging out. So I'd be having these little meals, not feeding myself properly, but then having hundreds of calories a day on little nibbles and grazes. And if you do that repeatedly, that's your normal habit, which it was mine, day in, day out, having 700 calories a day more than you need can add up to gaining over 1 pound of weight a week. That is loads. So how I do this now is, one, I eat properly, so I don't need to snack. I've had to learn different strategies for emotional eating. I haven't got time in this video to talk about that, but it's a big part of the work I do with my clients, because it's been something that's personally been so important to me. But also I encourage my clients to plan in the food they love most. And that is having a daily treat at a time of day when you most use it. So imagine you're following the plan. You're having your good breakfast, your good lunch, and your good dinner. So you're ticking all your nutritional needs. You shouldn't really be hungry in between that, but you'll still get that feeling in the day where you just fancy something nice. That's okay, because you're doing so well on all the other areas, you can have a little bit of something nice. So this is where I then tell people, find the time of day and the thing that you will most enjoy. So some people really like to have some chocolate after the dinner, or I like to have like a little mid-morning coffee and a cake or a piece of chocolate. And you see, you're finding the thing that, or the time of day when it's good for you. Another really good one for women is that mid-afternoon. You've probably done day's work and then you might be having to go home and do family and kid stuff, and your energy can dip. And I think sometimes it's not physical energy, it's the mental energy that you're trying to prepare yourself to start all over again. And for them, having a nice little 4 or 5 o'clock cup of tea and a cake or a little biscuit or something that's, you know, whatever they like, can really be a game changer for them to feel like they have that little moment to themselves. And that's the key. You have to, with that type of snack, you have to be present, you have to be mindful, you have to make sure you're enjoying it. If you think about a lot of the grazing, like I was doing, you're just doing that mindlessly. You're not really enjoying it, you're just shoving it in and feeling a bit guilty about it. But when you actually stop, slow down, give yourself permission to enjoy it, and really do enjoy it, your brain gets a really good signal that you've had something nice and you feel really satisfied. And that's when you realise that you can eat a healthy diet and still have all the foods that you really love. And that's that little daily treat can give you that nice sense of not feeling deprived. And if you think about stripping out all of these hundreds or across the week, thousands of calories of mindless eating, then going out for a coffee and a cake, you know, bigger splurge on the weekend with a friend where that cake's 500 calories is really still eating a whole lot less than you were before. Or even going out for a nice meal that's going to probably be more like 1,000 calories. You are still saving a lot of calories. This is why we overcomplicate things so much. We try and be too strict, and we can't live without the things that we really enjoy, that make our lives exciting and happy and a break from routine. But when you get the discipline and learn how to make these 3 meals a day the backbone of your diet, day in, day out, you are cutting so much out of your diet in terms of food that does nothing for you, and actually replacing it with things that you genuinely enjoy and that are genuinely pleasurable and important to you in your life. That's how you find that grey zone in the black and white, in between the black and white thinking, that means long term you can eat in a very different way to how you have been doing before and lose weight and keep it off if that's your goal. So I hope that's given you some hope that there's a nicer way and there's an easier way, because there is. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon in the group. Bye for now.